Hello everyone, CatWeazle here, welcome to the channel and welcome back to our playthrough of Eldritch Horror Rise of the Elder Things Turn 12. Okay, let's have a quick recap. First of all, the sad news, which is that Jenny Barnes unfortunately went insane during the Mythos phase last turn. We've moved her to the nearest city space, which is Sydney, and that is where she will have to be encountered if we want to get all of her belongings. Now, our first player this turn will, as usual, be Wendy Adams, who's here at the Plateau of Leng. She'll be followed by our new investigator, who we'll meet shortly, who is Akachi here at Space 15, Cape Town, South Africa. After her, it will be Rex Murphy, who is at Sydney. Finally, we will have Monterey Jack, who is here at Space 3 in the South Pacific. Other things to mention are Doom is currently at 11. We are currently on a red sunburst omen. And we have 3 gates. We have a gate at the Himalayas, which is guarded by a Loigor, a Shan and a Fire Vampire. We have a gate at London, which is guarded by a flying polyp. And then we have another gate at the Amazon, which is really odd. It's got 4 cultists and it also has a child of the goat. Fortunately, although it's got 5 monsters around it, they're not very difficult. So at least there is that as regards the Amazon gate. Other than that, we've still got the expedition at Sydney, and I don't think there is much else to mention. Oh, we have an ongoing Mythos card, which could prove to be a bit of a pain. We can't pick up any focus tokens, for example, until the next time we have a reckoning, but we are at the end of stage 2, and what that means is we are due a yellow reckoning card, so that should be gone end of this turn. Right, Akachi, our new investigator. Let's have a look at her. So here she is, Akachi, the shaman. As an action, she can look at the top 2 gates in the gate stack, put 1 gate on the top of the gate stack and the other on the bottom. That could be very useful if we get very low on Doom. Her passive: when you close a gate during an Otherworld encounter, you may move to any space containing a clue or a gate. This will be extremely helpful. She can be our gate closer. Obviously, it depends on Chrissy, but she would be very useful for closing gates. I will journey to the lands beyond. I do not fear them. That's the spirit. Love it. So she's got a health of 5 and a sanity of 7. As regards her abilities, she's got good law of 3, okay influence of 2, observation of 2, which is okay, strength of 2, which is okay, but she's also got excellent will, which is 4. Brilliant stuff. Let's flick her over, and as you've already seen, she starts at Space 15 in South Africa. Now, she does have some special stuff. She gets a Mists of Relay spell, so we'll pick that out shortly, and she'll also get a clue that we'll pick out shortly. Let's read her story. As a young girl in Nigeria, Akachi stayed apart from other children, preferring the company of imaginary friends. Her elders feared madness, but the village Dibia believed she had been chosen by the gods. The wise old man taught her how to travel between worlds and how to marshal spirits. Now she has become a wise leader herself, travelling across Africa and teaching others to protect themselves. She's recently arrived in Cape Town, and from here she will track down the dark forces that threaten humanity. As usual, we won't mention her injury resolution or her madness resolution. We'll leave those to such time as that happens. So there she is. So we need to get, first of all, let's get a clue first, then we can get rid of the bag. So that's her clue. Put that on a player tray. And then we need a Mists of Relay spell. So just give these a quick shuffle, and then the first one we come across, that will be spell that we use. We'll do a quick cut, and then I'll go from the top, it's just easier. So, Mists of Relay, there we go. So that's the first one. It's an incantation. Can you see that? Hang on, let me put those there. Focus. It's an incantation. During the encounter phase, you may test law. If you pass, you may choose an encounter as if there are no monsters on your space. Then flip this card. So it's very useful for closing gates. Doesn't matter that we've got tons and tons of monsters. Akachi should still be able to get in a gate with this spell. So that is funky. Right, so that is Akachi, our new investigator. So welcome to her, and welcome to Chrissy, who will be her player. Right, so that's it for the recap. Let's find out what happened previously on Rise of the Elder Things. Wendy turned to Richard. It's not over yet. One gate wasn't enough, and we need to open another one and finish binding it for good. Once again, Wendy started the ritual. The humming noise started again, and another gate opened, but something wasn't right. Wendy felt herself being drawn into the gate. She tried to resist, but it was no good. She found herself surrounded by a group of human-like people, all armed and advancing on her. Without thought as to what she was saying, she blurted out, "I know where they are. The flowers that you're looking for." The strange people stopped and looked at each other. "Where? Show us. We need them." Wendy detected a sense of urgency in the leader's voice. "I'll show you, but only if you help me get back." To Wendy's relief, they agreed. Instinctively, not knowing how she knew, she led them to a clearing where the black lotus flowers were growing, and true to their word, they returned Wendy to the portal. Once Wendy was back at the plateau, she knew time was running out. The dark god could be seen shifting within the portal again. As she finished the ritual, the dark god gave a stomach-churning scream as it was sucked back into the void. "Barnes!" Wendy watched in horror as she saw the dark god twist and morph into Jenny, and then back again, as it was bound to its prison in another world. "Please, baby, don't shut me out," Akachi pleaded. "I swear it will be a quick trip. Just pop over to Australia, check in with Noah, and look at his Peretine lizard, and then right back. I promise." Tad Cooper did not respond, nor turn to meet her gaze. "You know how much you hate to travel," she pleaded, stroking his back gently. "If there was any way—" Her voice trailed off as Tad Cooper scurried under his rock. Only the tip of his orange tail was visible. Akachi blew out a puff of air. "Fine, fine, you can come along." She lowered her hand, and the agama lizard scuttled up her arm to settle on her shoulders. "But if I hear one complaint out of you about the taste of the local insects—" Grabbing her satchel and ancient staff, she headed out the door towards the shipyard. An observer might have sworn the lizard on her shoulder was wearing a grin across his bright orange face. Rex had kept the details of the alien involvement of the Elder Things quiet, of course, but his help in smashing the ritual murder case had proved invaluable. Rex's knowledge of the Elder Things and their cult had meant he had been able to lead the Sydney police to their profane temple and even rescue a single survivor from amidst a bloody slaughter. Rex was in the police station accepting the grateful thanks of the local superintendent when the news had come through. An inspector had asked Rex if he knew Jenny Barnes. Rex immediately knew something was wrong. Apparently the young heiress had gone crazy on the Antarctic ice cap and was being returned to a hospital in Sydney. Unfortunately, she had escaped earlier this evening when the ship carrying her had docked. The inspector asked if Rex had any idea where she might go to. Jenny's parents were understandably creating an almighty furore, and the US ambassador was on to the Australian government, the chief of police, the governor-general, in fact pretty much everybody he could raise merry hell with. Rex had hedged while furiously trying to work out where she might have gone. Maybe to King's Cross? there were plenty of nightclubs and jazz bars in that district. Making his excuses, Rex left the station and looked for a cab. Rex had not noticed the burly man loitering by the doorway. As Rex walked away, the man followed. The man had waited until Rex had moved out of the street lamps in front of the police station before he grabbed the reporter, covered his mouth and threw him into a waiting sedan. "You're coming with me, Mr. Murphy, and if anyone knows where Miss Barnes has gone, it's you." The driver turned around. It was a young woman. "Where to, Max?" Max pressed the gun to Rex's ear. "Well, what are you waiting for? Tell the lady." "I remember you. From Frisco. You're Jenny's bodyguard," began Rex, before the gun barrel was pushed roughly into his ear. "Wrong answer, Murphy. We asked a question. A specific question. We won't ask again. I've seen too many friends go bad recently to be polite." Max cocked his gun. "I think she's in King's Cross. I think she would go to a jazz club I know," stammered Rex. After reuniting with Rex and comparing their notes, Jack felt fairly certain where to find the sunken city that he and his friends had dreamed about, as well as what to do about it once they got there. Before parting, Jack put a hand on Rex's shoulder and silently said a prayer to the celestial being he'd felt connected to. He felt the forces working against Rex lift a little bit, but at the same time felt a little bit of his own health waver. Jack knew he needed to rest soon, but he had a little more to take care of before he could settle in. The trip to the sunken city was uneventful, with the fearless trio of Monterey Jack, Enoch Bowen and Genevieve arriving on the coast and staring in awe at the massive blocks and stairs that made up Relay. Everywhere they looked was some reminder of the hideous elder god that once ruled here. Finding a huge temple at the top of some steps, Jack climbed his way up to it, closed his eyes and muttered another incantation. A slight rumbling greeted him, and then all was silent as the spell he cast settled whatever was entombed inside the temple. As he returned to his friends, Jack was suddenly hit by a wave of both physical and mental pain, staggering him to his knees and sending him to unconsciousness again. And here we are with Wendy. So what's Wendy going to do? Well, first of all, she's going to use a component action. Yes, it's the sunny old dog sled. He's getting plenty of work, is the dog. And she's going to go to City of the Elder Things. And because we've used a dog sled, it means we get the additional action. So what's she going to do with her additional action? What she's always going to do with her additional action when you're at City of the Elder Things, which is you're going to try and get a clue. So let's pop this in here, and we're going to test observation. Observation is 4. Come on, Wendy. And look at that, 2 successes. Fantastic. Absolutely brilliant. So if I keep them in there, best place to keep winning dice, to keep them in there. Right, so she gets a clue. Woohoo! Oh, here we go. Clue for Wendy. Super. Put it on a player tray. Fantastic. Okay, what's she going to do next? Action 2, she's going to move. Remember, the dog sled is a component action, so it doesn't count as a move action. So she's going to move to the frozen waste here. Brilliant. So that is Wendy's move. Next up, we have our new investigator, Akachi on Yele. And here we are with Akachi on space 15. First thing she's going to do is she's going to get herself a ship ticket. Then she's going to move here to the southern Indian Ocean, where she's going to spend her ship ticket and join Rex here and Jenny, poor old Jenny, in Sydney. So that is it for Akachi and her lizard. They are now in Sydney. After Akachi, it is Rex Rex is going to stay where he is. He is also going to prepare for travel. So he's going to get himself a ship ticket. And then what he's going to do is he is not going to move. He's going to save that till later. What he is going to do is he is going to rest. That will give him 2 sanity because of the psychoanalyst, and he will get a stamina back as well. So that is it for Rex. Okay, so Akachi and Rex have gone. Next up is Monterey Jack. And here we are with Monterey. Monterey is going to do his first action, which is to move to Sydney. So he's going to scoot off the side of the map and go all the way over to Sydney. So let's move back to Sydney and have a look at the good old jamboree that we're all having. And here's Monty at Sydney. And what he's going to do for his last action is he is going to rest. He's going to get a much needed stamina and another sanity. So he's now up to 2 stamina, thankfully, and 4 sanity. Coolness. And that is the end of the action phase. Next up, it's the encounter phase. And here we are with Wendy. Okay, what's Wendy going to do? Let us consult the instructions. Wendy is going to have an Antarctic research encounter. She's going to try and pick up this clue. So let's get the Antarctic research deck. See if she can pick up a second clue. So it's the frozen wastes. Whoop. Second one. You see a vision of how this area looked ages ago. In the sky, the Elder Things wage war against an alien foe. Test law. No, not law. Oh no, in fact it's quite good for her, isn't it? Yes, it's 3. So, she's got 3 dice. She's got the Antarctic Guide, which is a reroll. And the Lucky Ring and the Lucky Rabbit's Foot as well. So it's reroll city. She gets to roll 3 dice. Can we see that? Yes, just about. And she gets 2 successes. 2 5s. Brilliant. So she's going to end up with 2 clues, which is going to be very useful, I think. If you pass, you identify them as my go. Gain this clue. And there is the fail condition. And for anybody who wants to read the card, there you go. Right, discard that. Put back in there. And she gains that clue. She now has 2 clues. Excellent for the upcoming mystery. Let's get rid of it. And we're only 1 away from Lake Camp, so that's pretty cool. But there could move to Lake Camp using the text under here, but Lawrence specifically said we're not going to move to Lake Camp, so we're going to stay there. Shouldn't be a big deal because we have got the dog sled, which obviously it essentially gives us a free move, so no big deal. Righto, so that is it for Wendy. Next up, it's Akachi, and here we are with Akachi. So what's Akachi going to do? Will that fit in there? Ooh, just about. Super. Akachi is going to have a Sydney encounter, so that's the Far East deck, purple deck. So Sydney. The Theosophical Society is excited to hear what knowledge you have gained during your travels. You may spend 1 clue. She does have a clue. If you do, they gratefully provide you with an exercise and diet regimen that fortifies your vitality, improves strength. Well, her strength's already pretty good, to be honest. Oh no, her strength's 2. But do you know what? We'll probably need that clue. Again, unfortunately, a bit of a drawback with this format. I'm going to have to make this decision. Chrissy cannot. And I think the clue at this stage of the game is more important than improving her strength. We've got Rex, we've got Monterey Jack. They've both got high strength. I think she can afford to pass this up. So she's going to pass that up and keep her clue. Hope that's all right, Chrissy. And let's get rid of that. And that was her encounter. At the very least, nothing bad happened. Okay, who's next? It's Rex. Now, Rex, he doesn't need to improve his strength because he can't. He's already improved it twice. So, no real benefit from him doing a Sydney encounter. He's going to do another generic encounter. Last time he got a clue, so something similar would be nice. Or he spawned a clue at least. So, city. A man called Joey the Rat, I thought he lived in Arkham, offers you the secret of hidden treasure. You haggle over the price. Test influence. What are you doing, Rex? Not interested in hidden treasure. So, oh, he's cursed, obviously. Now, he has got 5 influence. It is a city space, so he gets the urban guide. So that'll give him 6 dice, I believe. Yes. And obviously he's got his lucky talisman and the lucky cigarette case. He gets a 6 anyway, because he's a beast. Brilliant. Right, so let's take these out of here. What has happened? If you pass, he sells you an old drawing. Gain 1 treasure map unique asset. Bloody rubbish. So, and there's the fail condition. So we've got another treasure map, which are just, this stage of the game, they're just time wasting. So, unless it's like... Unless the map ends up in Sydney, I don't think we'll be using it. But here we go. Here's the unique asset deck. Again, just a quick shuffle, a quick cut, and I'm just going to go from the top. It's just quicker. So I just want treasure map. There is one. I think there's more than one. I think there's 4, isn't there? Because we did it at the beginning for Monterey, so there should be another one in here. I think it was treasure map. I hope I haven't gone past one then when there's treasure map. I was thinking I'd gone past one while I was whittering on. So we've got treasure map, unique asset, and we will put that on his player tray. Let's have a quick read. When you gain this card from the deck, place 1 random clue face up on this card. So we'll just put that there. As I say, if we get a like Antarctica or something like that, it might be useful. So the random one we get is 6, which is bloody miles away. New Orleans. He's not going to be going there any more than he's going to be going to Istanbul on that courier run. So unfortunately, we've got 2 unique assets that are completely useless. Time wasting. We will not be doing them, but as ever, nothing bad happened, so at least that's a positive. Right, so that is it for Rex, and last of all we have Monterey Jack. What's he going to do? He is going to encounter Jenny. So let's get Jenny's card. All the stuff is here. In fact, what I'll do, I'll just reposition the camera, won't be a second. And here's Jenny. All the stuff and Monty. Right, so we get Jenny's card. Now, she's gone insane, so that means we read off the blue here. Let's wait for it's focused. As near as you can tell, Jenny has been in this nightclub for days. She no longer cares about any belongings other than the yellow sign she wears around her neck. See, she went to Los Carcosa. Didn't she, Lunaria? Went to Los Carcosa, that's what happens. Play chess with the Yellow King and you go nuts. Gain all of her possessions. Well, they're all laid out. The music and atmosphere of the club erodes your senses. Test will. So we've got a will test. That there. What is his will? His will is 3. Does he get any benefits? He does from Enoch. So it will be 4 dice. He doesn't get any help from the Ankh because that's only combat encounters. I don't think there's anything else. Nope, it's just 4 dice. A 5. We love it. Let's have a look. If you pass, you escape with Jenny and learn what she knows before committing her to an institution. Retreat doom by 1. Cool. And then there's the fail condition. Whether or not you pass, discard or investigate a token. So you know what? I'm really glad she's getting some professional help, and nothing went really bad. She didn't disappear with the nightclub. So Jenny is getting some professional help. Fortunately, she now leaves the game totally. But at least her parents and everybody knows where she is. So that is the best news that we could have. I'll just move the Doom track back 1. So that is back up to 12. All this stuff will go across to Jack. And then hopefully we'll be able to trade some stuff off next turn. Akachi can get tooled up. And we can figure out who's got the best stuff for what. And hopefully, whoever goes down to Antarctica will be able to take some stuff down for Wendy as well. Okie dokie. That is it for the encounter phase. Next up, it's the laugh and chuckle phase. And here we are, back at the laugh and chuckle phase. Took a bit of time, did a bit of rearranging, got rid of all the stuff, passed it across to Monterey, who has now got absolutely tons and tons of stuff. We are going to have a good think about who's getting what there. I will put a list onto the thread and some suggestions about who to get what. I mean, there's so many weapons there. It's just, it's untrue. So, but there's other good stuff there. There's a police ledger. That's like a clue. That could always come in useful. And specifically for Monterey himself, there is the bandages. They can be discarded. So even though he's on 2 health now, no matter what comes in this Mythos card, if it says lose 2 health, he's covered. He's got the bandages. He can discard it. He's got the fresh fruit as well. So he should be up to full health in no time. So that is good. But he's already got plenty of weapons himself. We can give a couple to Akachi. Rex, not so much. He doesn't really need to do much fighting. He's okay with what he's got. But we could also get a better weapon down to Wendy, who only has an axe, if you recall. So pretty good, pretty good. But that's because we haven't pulled a laugh and chuckle card yet, so we better get on with that. So here it is. Now we know it's going to be a reckoning because it's the end of stage 2. So we've got omen track movement. So we go onto a blue constellation. We have 1 blue constellation gate in London. So we go back to 11 Doom. But that's okay. And we have Sunny Reckoning Time, my favourite. Okay, right. First of all, let's do it in order. We've got the Fire Vampire moving. Now, it's got to move towards these 3 guys. So it's going to go Shanghai and then Space 20. But do you know what? When we originally got the Fire Vampire, you know, all those turns ago, I was worried about it. I'm not now. Just the amount of firepower we've got is unbelievable. This guy is just toast. So I'm not not particularly going to worry about him. Anybody on here, as soon as they traded a few weapons between themselves, could take that guy out easily. So let's not worry about him overly much. So, oh, we're still doing reckoning, aren't we? So he's moved. The Shan, I think this takes a clue, doesn't it? Whoop. Discard the nearest clue. Again, we've got plenty. But what's the nearest clue to here? It is 1, 2. It's probably here. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2. See, we've got a split between here and here. Which one are we more likely to like take? It'll be this one. So let's get rid of the one that's miles and miles away from us. So we'll get rid of the Vladivostok one. Hopefully we'll be able to kill that Shan in short order. And let's have a look. Oh, we're still on the reckoning. Right. Reckoning. Finish the reckoning first before you pick the card up. Idiot. Right. So we've moved those two. The good old flying polyp doesn't move from London because it's already on a gate. All those cultists, they've got the symbol, but the elder things do not have a cultist reckoning. And, ooh, the child of the goat. Roll 1 die on a 1 or a 2. Advance doom. No. A 5. Ah. Ah. You're rubbish. So that didn't work out for the child of the goat. Doom stays where it is. I think that is, yeah, Mummy doesn't have any. So that is it, I think. Oh, Loigor's got one. What's that? Each investigator on this space or an adjacent space loses 1 health and sanity. Nobody's near enough. That's cool. Okay. Think that's all the monsters. We've had to go through millions of them. Right, so after that it is the ancient one. We've got no problems with the Rise of the Elder Things ancient one, that's fine. Then it is ongoing laughter with this. So, couldn't perform focus actions this turn, but it's a reckoning. We can perform focus actions from now on because all we do is discard it. So that's good. We'll get rid of that. Go over here. It's cool. So, ongoing mythos cards have gone. We've done the monsters. It is possessions and conditions. Whew. So, Wendy, none. That's fine. Akachi has got none. Her Mists of Relay spell does not have a reckoning. That's fine. Good old Rex is cursed. That is the only reckoning he has. So let's put this back. Put his curse condition there. We need a 4, 5 or a 6. Come on, Rexy. Come on. Ooh! Unfortunate. Could have done with an extra clue. But 'twas not to be. So he gets exactly the same card back this time because he didn't get rid of it. That's it for him. And now let's look through the 5,000 pieces of stuff that Monterey Jack has. So he has his two spells that we know about. Put those there. I don't think there is anything else. There isn't, so it is just the 2 spells. And made a mistake last time we did this, whereby I didn't use the arcane scroll correctly. I thought it was an extra die, and I said like, oh, I should have rolled 8 die. No, I should have rolled 7 like I did, but I should have added 1 to one of the results, so I could have pushed up a 4 to a 5. And that would have meant that that if I'd spent that focus and stuff. Oh, it was a re-roll, wasn't it? I think it was the Agents of Secrets re-roll. It meant that we'd have got 3 successes and good old like Monterey could have been blessed as well. But never mind. Right, we'll do Azure Flame first. So we've got to test law. So I think we have got loads of law. Again, you have to bear with me. I've got to go through all these cards and try and work out exactly how many dice he's got. So he gets an additional die off Enoch. He gains +2 off the Ankh, so that's 3 because it's a spell effect. He has got a law of 4 anyway, so that's 7 dice. Is he getting anything else from anything else? Arcane Scroll I've just gone through, but we'll do that once he rolls. No, I think that is it. But if I've missed one, you can't blame me. So it's 7 dice. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. He's got 2 6s for a kick-off. So we'll take those. I think he's got a re-roll. Yeah, he's got a re-roll off the Agent of Secrets. We're going to use that because he's only got 2 successes there. Yeah. And his Arcane Scroll can't get another success because 3 is the highest of the rest. So if we re-roll one, even if we get a 4, we can use the Arcane Scroll then. So come on. Oh, 2 pants. And obviously we haven't got any sort of focus or anything because of that bloody card last time. So we got 2 successes. 1 to 2. Harnessing the magic's power takes a toll on your body. Lose 1 health unless you gain an injury condition. I think what we are going to do is we're not going to gain an injury condition. We are going to lose the 1 health. Now he does have bandages, but bandages prevents 2. If we take this off, okay, he's down to 1. He's down to 1 again. But he has the fresh fruit, which will get him some back when he rests. And he's got the Lodge Physician, which also... Hang on. Oh, wait, hang on. We might not do that. There was something on the Lodge Physician, I think, about injury conditions. Let's just check the Lodge Physician. So, you and other investigators on your space may recover 1 additional health or discard 1 illness or injury condition when performing a rest action. Right, okay. From what I can recall, I believe Mark is going to have Jack do a rest action next turn anyway. So we will take the injury condition because when he does his rest action, he will get... Well, it doesn't really matter which way round, it's one or the other, isn't it? So if he could get 2 health back next turn if he didn't have an injury condition, which would put him up to 3. And if he didn't lose the health now and gain the injury condition, he could just get rid of the injury condition. Yeah, and still go up to 3 because he wouldn't get the additional health. So it doesn't matter, does it really? So what I'm going to do is I am going to get rid of the health because it's easier than going through the deck, getting an injury condition, then putting it back in. So you can see it doesn't make any difference because he'll still, if he has a rest action next turn, he's still going to end up on 3 health with no injury condition. So we'll do it that way. Right, so that's the Azure Flame. Get rid of that. And the next one is the Learning. So test law and flip this card. Again, it's 7 dice. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. still have the reroll and we still have the arcane scroll. So 1 success, what a load of pants. But the arcane scroll puts this up to a 5, so he's got 2 successes. And we still get the reroll with the Agent of Secrets. Another success, please. Ah, damn. So 2 successes. So the strain of forced learning is taxing on your mind. Lose 1 sanity. Bummer. But his sanity's okay. Just puts him down to 3. That'll go back up to 4 when he rests next turn. Don't think there's any way he can prevent losing that sanity. Let me have a look. Fresh fruit has to be used when performing a rest action. In fact, Mark, if you spend the fresh fruit next turn when you rest with the Lodge Disciple, you'd end up on 4 health and you would be back on 5 sanity. So bear that in mind as well. I think that's it. Don't think anything else can stop anything. Nope. So, but like I say, you're on 3 sanity and you're going to rest next turn. Use the fresh fruit, use the Lodge Physician. You could be on, I think, what did we get it to? 4 health and 5 sanity. So, virtually brand new. Okay, so, right. That is all the possessions and the conditions done. Super. Okay, so that is it. So I can finally pick this up. And we get a gate. Sod gates. We're nearly there. Where's this going? Another, look at that. Another red sunburst gate. We've got ages before they kick off. Heart of Africa. Get that out of the way. There we are. Heart of Africa, get a monster. We got... God, I'll pull out. Wendigos. Wendigos every time. Okay, right. So, they're not that tough. They just sit around in caves, don't they, eating brains. So, right, there we go. He's there. And he doesn't move about, so that's pretty good as well. So, that's the gate. Ooh, snowflakes. Once inside the lodge, your host invites you to follow him upstairs. Several members stare in astonishment. Oh, I've had this one before, it's good. Outsiders are rarely granted such access. At the top of the stairs, you are ushered into a library filled with rare and exotic tomes. Now, he says, how can we help you? Silver Twilight Aid. Event. Each investigator may do the following. Gain 1 clue, gain 1 asset, gain 1 spell. Sorry everybody, again, I've got to make the decision here and we're all getting a clue. That is just a no-brainer. We've got more assets than we can shake a stick at. Spells, we haven't needed them really up until now, so why gain any more? Plus we'd probably get glamour spells and we'd be rolling for them every bloody reckoning. So let's get clues. We need clues. We love clues. This will give Wendy 3 clues. She's on fire. She could virtually solve the mystery on her own. Brilliant. So, except we'll still need to get somebody down there. The reason is, even if she had 4 clues, you can't do them at the same time. It'd have to be, if it was just Wendy doing it, it'd be 4 turns. 4 turns is too long. I do have another plan, but somebody's been peeking, and it means it probably won't work. But I did have another plan. But, yeah, we're all going to gain a clue. Let's get rid of that. And here we go. So, the clue for Wendy. She gets an extra clue. She has 3. Akachi will get a second clue. 2. Rex will get another clue. He now has 3. And Jack will get a clue to give him 1. Excellent. So between us, we've got 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We've got 9 clues between us. 9 clues. I think there's one left in. There's one left in the bag. We've rifled through the clues. So that's pretty good. That is pretty good, that. 9 clues. 9 clues. If we could keep hold of them and use them on stuff like the mysteries. Okay, so good turn. We did what we had to do. We got all Jenny's stuff. I think we succeeded in every encounter we had. Wendy's now got 3 clues from Zilcho Clues. That's amazing. She's right next to Lake Camp. Can start on that mystery next turn. We need to get somebody to Antarctica to help her out. As I mentioned, she cannot spend 4 turns doing that mystery on her own. We have, what is it? 8 cards left. Let's just check how many we've got left. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We've got 8 Mythos cards left. 8 turns. We haven't started the 3rd mystery. We leave it to Wendy. It will take her 4 turns to do it. That is too long. Now, I'm saying sod the gates. The reason I'm saying sod the gates is we could do this 3rd mystery the end of next turn. Everybody on Sydney could go to Antarctica, make it to Lake Camp, spend 1 clue at Lake Camp and get ambushed by a cultist. Yeah? A cultist. Remember? This is how tough cultists are. They've got... Oh. That spoiled my big reveal. Keep forgetting it's on here, isn't it? This is how tough cultists are. All we've got to do is make a -1 on a law check. Yeah? They join us. We discard them. So we can have a look at the ally that we get from the ambush. If it's better than the allies we've got, we can get rid of an ally that we already have. And put an Eldritch token on that mystery. So that is all we have to do. If all 4 of us were on Lake Camp, we could do that next turn and do this mystery. 1 turn and it's done. Now, the rest of my plan was that we'd obviously pick a new mystery, and the way the mysteries have been going, they've all been in Antarctica. So I was thinking, oh right, it'll probably be in Antarctica then. So why don't we stay in Antarctica? We've got a clue factory at the City of the Elder Things. We don't even need that now. There's only 1 clue to take out of the bag anyway. But the rest of it is we've got 9 clues. We'd spend 4. That'd still leave us with 5 clues that we already have. Just flick over whatever the mystery is. Even if it's spend 4 clues again, we can do it. We could do it in like 2, 3 turns max. Put that on the thread. Unfortunately, somebody, George, has been peeking the remaining mysteries. Now, he did put a spoiler tag over them, and I haven't read it, but generally, from what he said, it is like, oh, you might not want to go to Antarctica with the ones that are left. So, which is a bit spoilerific, even putting the spoiler tags on. So, I did say don't look at the cards, but somebody's been looking. But that's fine, I'm only kidding, George. So we might not want to do that. My line of reasoning was all the others had been based in Antarctica, so probably this one would be. Even if we got the epic monster or something, have 4 investigators down there, we've got all the clues, what's to lose, you know? But we'll see. We'll see when we swap it over. But I would definitely suggest that somebody goes down to Antarctica, and the quicker the better. Mark, I know you want to do the expedition. If you're going to do the expedition, Mark, I will go. Rex will go down to Antarctica. I know George wants me to do that anyway. I still don't think he's the best person to do it. But time is of the essence. We only have 8 turns. So that's not to say don't do the expedition. By all means, if you want Jack to do it, do it. Yeah? But if you're going to do that, I will go to Antarctica. and therefore you can decide not to go Antarctica. You can do something else in the future. Akachi and Chrissy, you're more than welcome to come to Antarctica as well. As I say, you know, perhaps leave one investigator up here to, you know, mess around with gates and monsters and stuff. But I think the quicker that we can get this mystery done, even if we flick over the next mystery and it isn't based in Antarctica, well, we've saved time in completing this mystery now. And the quicker we can get it completed, the better, in my opinion. And it could still be, I get the impression from what George put, that there are still at least a couple of mysteries that could end up being in Antarctica anyway and could be done from there. So, you know, if I was playing solo, I'd have just gone for it because I'm just gung-ho, man. But that's what we'll have a chat about in the comments and in the thread. So definitely, we've got to crack on with it. We've got to start doing it next turn, and we've got to get rid of it as quick as possible. The mysteries that we've got up to now, I think it's because of the length of the Doom track for the Rise of the Elder Things and the amount of Mythos cards that are in there. There's 20 Mythos cards to start off with. We started up on, what was it, 15, 16 on the Doom track, something like that. It means all the mysteries are quite long. So it's, you know, that's why you're being asked to put 4 clues on stuff. They just want you to spend more time doing it, I think. I think that's the whole point of this AO. I would prefer, like, let's get cracking on, let's get rid of at least this third mystery as quickly as possible, and then whatever the fourth is, that's whatever the fourth is. But I've waited on enough. The only thing is, I'm getting a bit itchy now because I think we're getting a bit too close. We're getting a bit too close. Let's get it done. Let's get it over with. Let's see what this last mystery is and then crack on with it. Right, okay, enough of that. So that is it for turn 12. Thank you so much for watching. Thanks for all the views, for all the likes, and for all the subscriptions. That's fantastic, thank you. If you've noticed any sort of mistakes that I've made, please do point them out. It is getting a bit tricky now. Got all sorts of assets and stuff hanging around. There's like monsters everywhere, gates everywhere, there's additional dies, add 1 to a die, there's all sorts. And it is getting pretty difficult, so there's a good chance I may well have missed something. I am not a robot, unfortunately. I'm doing my best though. So if I have missed something, my apologies. But if you do point it out, then I will do my best to fix it for next turn. Again, thanks to everybody who's come up with tips and suggestions. And even though I don't always follow them, rest assured they are valued. So please, please keep those coming. As I say, I might not always follow them, but they are much appreciated. So thank you. Other than that, anybody who's been to Board Game Links to upvote the site, thanks very much. As ever, that's brilliant. And I hope that you will join me for turn 13 of Rise of the Elder Things. But until then, this is me, CatWeazle, signing off. Toodaloo.